Hello, everybody, welcome. Hello, the psych investigator. Hello, huh, everybody, welcome. Hello, the psych investigator. Hello, guys, so it's 1 a.m. That's Cinderella time. 1 a.m. So, okay, so there's a protection. I like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of lights. Coming into my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle, I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and the goodness of this. Okay, so time for airliner. Welcome to Wade Rose's makeup channel. Guys, I know I wrote it down. I'm gonna remember to make a video just for the makeup next time. Even though the makeup, I continue to put it on for hours. No, just kidding. But it's interesting, how this is the same makeup as the video earlier. But I was like, time passed and everything. And I had to do a touch up. And also it looks more lived in. I did add a little bit of bronzer for this time. My hair a little more. I don't so but the topic is big that we have to talk about. And it's so what has happened is that I've read the article. It took me about 25 minutes, I'm not kidding, to read the full. Sorry, because I was going to put something in my, because notice a little red, but it's okay. I read the whole article pretty much. So what I recommend that you do is that if you don't want to listen, just skip. I'm gonna add the timestamp. Or you could just skip to the part where you see my face because it's 25 minutes of me reading. It is a very detailed, very interesting article. So I'm gonna pause it here so you can listen or skip to the part where I talk about it. Okay, so next I'm going to discuss it. So see you on the other side. So guys, this is part two of the introduction. So I just finished I had a conversation. Jeffrey Epstein came through and he got a lot of revelations comments about this article. It was like really one of the most it's a really interesting experience for me. I really felt like I was kind of under a trance of some sort. So he's been around. I don't know why he's here, wants to talk to me, but so really fascinating. I think I'm gonna watch it tomorrow because it's so weird that he was talking with his mannerisms or whatever. Really, so it wasn't expected because I thought I was just gonna ask questions about the whole thing, but he took over kind of and gave me a lot of information. So that's it. That's a big thing. It's the beginning of the end of the beginning. Who knows? It's huge. So he thinks trash is not going to make it. Meaning he talks about all their connections and everything. So all right. So thanks for watching. See you on the other side.
Hi guys. So I am recording this part of just reading the article because I believe that we really need to look into this. And it's a bit of a it's sort of like a long article, but I feel like I really need to read this out to you. I will add timestamps so you don't have to listen to it. If you don't want to, you can read it and okay, just because it's relevant. Okay, so I'll get started. So, money, women, and taxes. Jeffrey Epstein's fiery friendship with a Wall Street titan. New emails show how Mr. Epstein pressured Leon Black, his longtime friend and patron, to fork over millions for financial services. Jeffrey Epstein was furious. For years, he had relied on the billionaire Leon Black as his primary source of income, advising him on everything from taxes to his world-class art collection. But by 2016, Mr. Black seemed to be reluctant to keep paying him tens of millions of dollars a year. So Mr. Epstein threw a tantrum. One of Mr. Black's other financial advisors had created a really dangerous mess, Mr. Epstein wrote in an email to Mr. Black. Another was a waste of money and space. He even attacked Mr. Black's children as retarded for supposedly making a mess of his estate. The typo-strewn tirade was one of dozens of previously unreported emails reviewed by the New York Times in which Mr. Epstein hectored Mr. Black, at times demanding tens of millions of dollars beyond the 150 million he had already paid. He had already been paid. The pressure campaign appeared to work. Mr. Black, who for decades was one of the richest and highest profile figures on Wall Street, continued to fork over tens of millions of dollars in fees and loans, albeit less than Mr. Epstein had been seeking. All of the relationships that Mr. Epstein built with the rich and powerful, his friendship with Mr. Black was arguably the most important. After Mr. Epstein served jail time for soliciting prostitution from a minor, many of his contacts backed away. Not Mr. Black, who kept Mr. Epstein afloat for years. The new emails, along with court documents and interviews, provide the most complete picture yet of that relationship. They come at a time of renewed interest in Mr. Epstein, stoked by the Trump administration's refusal to release government records related to investigations into him. The president, who was once friends with Mr. Epstein, has sought to deflect attention onto hedge fund guys and other prominent men who he says were much closer to the predator than he once was. Mr. Black, 74, was pushed out of the private equity firm he co-founded, Apollo Global Management, in 2021 over his ties to Mr. Epstein. He has said that his payments to the sex offender were simply for tax and estate planning services. Those claims have puzzled many on Wall Street who have asked why one of the country's richest men would pay Mr. Epstein, a college dropout, so much more than what prestigious law firms would charge for similar services. The new emails confirmed that Mr. Epstein performed financial work for Mr. Black. He even claimed in one note that his maneuverings had saved his benefactor as much as $2 billion. And the messages suggest that Mr. Epstein, despite his financial dependency, believed he had considerable power in the relationship. The two men had been personally entwined for more than 2 decades. When a former girlfriend accused Mr. Black of sexual assault, he turned to Mr. Epstein for advice about paying her millions of dollars to keep her quiet, according to an email reviewed by the Times and court records. Another woman said in the lawsuit that Mr. Black had raped her at Mr. Epstein's Manhattan townhouse. She eventually dropped the lawsuit. And for reasons that are unknown, Mr. Black wired hundreds of thousands of dollars to at least 3 women who were associated with Mr. Epstein, according to court documents and notes taken by congressional investigators that were shared with the Times. Representatives of Mr. Black did not respond to questions about those payments to women. Susan Estrich, a lawyer for Mr. Black, said his payments to Mr. Epstein were for tax and estate planning services that an outside law firm found were legitimate. To imply that Epstein somehow had influence over Mr. Black is false and patently absurd, she said. She added that the law firm hired by Apollo to review the men's relationship found that Mr. Black had no knowledge of Epstein's criminal activities. Mr. Black has never abused a woman in his life, and any such suggestion is false. Mr. Black has said he regretted working with Mr. Epstein. The emails revealed by the Times, sent in 2015 and 2016 to Mr. Black through his personal assistant, as well as to a handful of his advisors, show another dimension of Mr. Epstein's cruelty. While he was known for ingratiating himself with the rich and powerful, He could also veer into nastiness and was willing to turn the screws on his biggest clients. None of the emails reviewed by the Times were written by Mr. Black. I will no longer, not even for one day, work on your affairs without the compensation that is long overdue, Mr. Epstein wrote in November 2015. Mr. Epstein demanded the usual $40 million per year, with most of it paid up front. Months later, as their fight over payments were on, Mr. Epstein offered a concession. Of course, re any non-financial issues, I'm always there for you and will continue to be the best friend I can be. A mail excerpt from Jeffrey Epstein to Leon Black. I never want to have any more uncomfortable money moments with you. I find it distasteful. So to be clear, my terms are as follows. I will only work for the usual 40 million per year. It needs to be paid 20 million per signing an agreement, 5 million every 2 months thereafter for 6 months, i.e. March, May, June. This can begin if I am able in January. I will immediately stop work if the payment is not received. Love and kisses. Mr. Black and Mr. Epstein met thanks to Mr. Epstein's knack for inserting himself into other people's business. One morning in 1994, Mr. Epstein called his friend Elliot Stein and invited him to lunch. Mr. Stein replied that he already had plans. He was meeting Mr. Black at the China Grill in Midtown Manhattan. Mr. Epstein invited himself along, Mr. Stein recalled, and spent the meal chatting with Mr. Black about markets and trading. Soon, Mr. Epstein had cultivated Mr. Black as his own friend. Later that year, after Mr. Epstein canceled a dinner with Mr. Black and his wife, he asked an employee to send them chocolates with an apology, according to notes taken by the employee. The two men had a lot in common, sharing interests in science, arts, and finance. Mr. Black had co-founded Apollo in 1990. The firm, which was a trendsetter in using debt to buy distressed companies, became a powerful force in Wall Street. Mr. Epstein had no formal training in tax and estate planning, but after a few years working at an investment bank, he convinced a few business elites to hire him for financial advice. They included Elizabeth Johnson, an heiress to the Johnson & Johnson fortune, and Leslie Wexner, the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret and The Limited. Mr. Black found Mr. Epstein to be impressive and a little mysterious. It wasn't just his ties to the ultra-wealthy. He also seemed to always be surrounded by beautiful women. He was almost like a James Bond villain, Mr. Black told the publication Puck last year. In 1995, long before Mr. Epstein became a formal advisor to Mr. Black, he and his wife Deborah put Mr. Epstein on the board of directors of their newly created family foundation. A couple of years later, Mr. Black and two other Apollo executives together donated $500,000 to one of Mr. Epstein's nonprofits, which gave money to charities. Mr. Epstein introduced Mr. Black to several young women, according to people familiar with their relationships, as well as court documents. Some of the women later accused Mr. Black of abusing them. In 2002, for example, Mr. Epstein arranged for Mr. Black to meet Sherry Pearson, whom Mr. Epstein had paid for massages, according to a lawsuit Ms. Pearson filed years later and eventually withdrew. She met Mr. Black at Mr. Epstein's townhouse, where Mr. Black raped her in the massage room. The lawsuit said Mr. Black denied the claim and said he had never met Ms. Pearson. In early 2003, Mr. Black was among the friends who contributed to a book celebrating Mr. Epstein's 50th birthday. Mr. Black's entry, a handwritten poem, referred to Mr. Epstein's unique tax strategy and his interests in women, blonde, red, or brunette, spread out geographically / With his net of fish, Jeff's now the old man and the sea. Mr. Black signed off, love and kisses, Leon. So here's a note, handwritten. And it's so interesting to see something handwritten as such a unrefutable evidence. A few years later, a Florida grand jury indicted Mr. Epstein for soliciting prostitution from a teenager. Mr. Black later said the family charge against Mr. Epstein, which resulted in him serving 13 months in jail, didn't seem like a big deal at the time. I mean, he was with a 17-year-old prostitute, got prosecuted for it, and got put away for a year, Mr. Black told Puck. I didn't think this was the end of the world, frankly. Dodging taxes. In 2011, Mr. Epstein was at a crossroads. He was a registered sex offender, and his main benefactor, Mr. Wexner, the retail billionaire, had long since cut ties. His personal investments, while sizable, had plummeted since the 2008 financial crisis, according to records filed by one of Mr. Epstein's companies. And his opulent lifestyle and sex trafficking operation continued to rack up expenses. He needed a new source of revenue. Mr. Black, too, was at a crossroad of sorts. Apollo had gone public in 2011, and Mr. Black's personal wealth had soared. He was looking for help managing his fortune and shielding it from taxes. Mr. Epstein seemed to fit the bill. He began advising Mr. Black on a wide variety of matters, including taxes, estate planning, investments, charitable giving, and the operation of his family yacht. When Mr. Black traveled to Russia, whoa, let me go back. When Mr. Black traveled to Russia for a meeting of a state investment board, Mr. Epstein planned to go too, according to a calendar entry kept by one of his assistants and a travel visa reviewed by the Times. Wow. Okay, so guys, I need to make a note of this because I'm definitely coming back to look into this. Okay, but let's continue. Mr. Epstein had found a new cash cow in 2012. He received a 5.5 million payments from Mr. Black, which appears to have been the first transaction between the two men, according to the notes taken by congressional investigators. Months later, they signed a contract in which Mr. Black agreed to pay Mr. Epstein's $23.5 million for estate planning matters. Mr. Epstein sought to professionalize Mr. Black's family investment office, which managed the billionaire's assets. He constructed and sometimes participated in art transactions that were designed to skirt capital gains taxes and keep Mr. Black's purchases from drawing public attention, according to emails reviewed by the Times. He used his connections at J.P. Morgan Chase, where Mr. Epstein was a prize client, to seek a loan from Mr. Black. In one email, he told a banker that he was advising on Mr. Black's $120 million purchase of Edward Munch's painting The Scream. Mr. Black's representative said Mr. Epstein was not involved in Mr. Black's 2012 purchase of the painting. So it's a really famous painting. Most important, he found ways to minimize the taxes that Mr. Black's estate would owe after his death. Years earlier, at the suggestion of Mr. Epstein, Mr. Black had set up a so-called grantor retained annuity trust. Such trusts allow the ultra-wealthy to pass along potentially unlimited sums to their heirs, free of any estate tax. In 2013, Mr. Epstein came up with a way to rework the trust to potentially avoid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes for Mr. Black's 4 children. And when the IRS audited some of Mr. Black's tax strategies, Mr. Epstein helped to resolve the inquiries, according to the emails reviewed by the Times. While Mr. Epstein repeatedly rattled off the projects he said he was undertaking for Mr. Black, the actual role he played, as well as the true value derived from that work, is unclear. Yet Mr. Epstein told Mr. Black that the work was highly valuable. Mr. Black generally coughed up the fees Mr. Epstein requested. The total would ultimately reach $170 million. By a wide margin, Mr. Black was Mr. Epstein's greatest source of income after 2012. The apparent runner-up, French banker Ariane de Rothschild, who paid Mr. Epstein at least $15 million in 2015. Mr. Epstein also gave Mr. Black access to his Rolodex. Over the years, it connected him with Bill Gates and Stephen K. Bannon. He introduced one of Mr. Black's sons to Woody Allen to learn about film editing, according to court records. Mr. Black, meanwhile, donated millions to one of Mr. Epstein's charities. Some work that Mr. Epstein performed for Mr. Black required the utmost discretion. For instance, he helped him keep a long-running extramarital affairs under wraps. Mr. Black paid nearly $10 million to Guzel Ganieva, with whom he had a sexual relationship, who had accused him of assaults. The agreement required Mr. Ganieva not to publicly disclose the relationship. Mr. Black has acknowledged the affair but denied the assault allegation. One of Mr. Epstein's tasks was to look into whether the payments, some of which were structured as loans, would incur federal gift taxes, according to court filings and the emails the Times reviewed. Pleading for pay. By 2015, fissures were beginning to surface in the relationship between the two men. Mr. Epstein wanted more money. Mr. Black was balking. The spat was captured in Mr. Epstein's emails, written in a stream of consciousness manner, with little regard for the conventions of grammar, punctuation, or spelling. Mr. Epstein later compiled the emails with notes to himself about the role he had played in managing Mr. Black's finances, apparently to help make the case that he deserved to be paid. Mr. Epstein alternated between sounding angry, boastful, and defensive. He detailed the extensive work he had performed and how much money he had saved his client. He derided the employees in Mr. Black's family office and one of the billionaire's outside advisors at the elite law firm, Paul Weiss. The underlying message: Mr. Black could trust only Mr. Epstein, and he deserved to be paid accordingly. Shortly after a meeting with Mr. Black and some of his advisors in November 2015, Mr. Epstein typed a long email that alluded to what he said were his long-running warnings about Mr. Black's staff. One advisor's comments were totally incomprehensible, Mr. Epstein wrote, and the charts he prepared were unreadable. Another advisor spent the meeting in a defensive posture, leading to Mr. Epstein to wonder if he had felt sandbagged by Mr. Epstein's presence. Mr. Epstein went on to propose one final year of work. I think you should pay the $25 million that you did not for this year, he wrote. For the next year, it is the same $40 million as always. Pay 20 in January and 20 in July, and then we're done. Over the course of 2016, Mr. Epstein ratcheted up pressure to get paid. As often, like to remind me, you've paid a great deal of money to date, he wrote in March. That being said, if you want my involvement moving forward, I suggest you pay my regular fee of $40 million. If cash was a problem, he offered, then Mr. Black could pay him in other ways, like by giving him Miami real estate artwork or financing his new plane. Oh my God. Oh my God. Email excerpt from Mr. Epstein to Mr. Black. To help out, I'm keenly aware of your current cash position, so I will consider an in-kind payment. Real estate Miami, art, financing of my new plane allows you to spread over years, or of course the preferred cash. Several weeks later, still frustrated, Mr. Epstein dashed off an email that explained the value he had provided for Mr. Black over the years. If you reflect on your financial life, you have been kept safe, had remarkable results, and no disasters, he wrote. For Mr. Black was putting his fortune at risk, Mr. Epstein warned. I have repeatedly urged you to get rid of the people in your office, he wrote. You have repeatedly chosen to ignore my advice. Mr. Black had complained about his high fees, he went on, while ignoring the benefit of between 1.5 and 2 billion to the better, a reference to how much Mr. Epstein claimed to have saved Mr. Black. 6 months later, in November 2016, the dispute was still simmering. Mr. Epstein had said Mr. Black urgently needed to clean up the procrastination-produced mess that was his estate, and that Mr. Black's children had contributed to. You have a bomb of colored string that your retarded children have formed, he wrote. It has to be very carefully unwound. Email excerpt from Mr. Epstein to Mr. Black. At least for a few weeks, I am unable to commit much time and make any future plans to guide you in the redoing of your procrastination produced mess. That being said, the tasks at hand are the following. You have a bomb of color string that your retarded children have formed. It has to be very carefully unwound. The long pressure campaign may have worked. Mr. Black kept bankrolling Mr. Epstein into 2017. Early that year, he lent Mr. Epstein about 30 million, but Mr. Epstein repaid only 10 million. Mr. Black's last recorded payment of 8 million came that April, according to a report by the law firm Deschert that Apollo hired to review Mr. Black's relationship with Mr. Epstein. Miss Estrich, the lawyer for Mr. Black, said he ultimately fired Epstein because he was disruptive and believed the fees for his services were excessive. Even after the payments stopped, Mr. Black kept soliciting his friend's advice. In October 2018, one of Mr. Black's advisors emailed Mr. Epstein to say that Mr. Black had requested that he provide a high-level review of Mr. Black's 1,700-page federal tax return. Weeks later, Mr. Epstein's criminal enterprise began to unravel. That's what it's saying. A Virgin Islands inquiry. In November 2018, the Miami Herald published a series of articles about Mr. Epstein's sweetheart plea deal a decade earlier. The public outcry that followed led federal prosecutors to reopen investigations into his sex trafficking operation. He was arrested in 2019 and died by quote-unquote suicide in a Manhattan jail cell. Mr. Black had initially played down his ties to the notorious predator, denying knowledge of his crimes and saying that top law firms had vetted his financial services. Mr. Black's exalted position at Apollo and on Wall Street appeared secure. After the Times reported in 2020 that Mr. Black had paid Mr. Epstein as much as 75 million, Apollo hired Deschert to get to the bottom of the matter. The firm concluded that Mr. Black's payments to Mr. Epstein had been for legitimate tax and estate planning services. But its public reports, while sparse in details, made clear that the relationship between the two men had been extensive. That shook investor confidence in Apollo, and in early 2021, Mr. Black was pushed out of the firm he helped create. He also agreed not to seek another term as chairman of the Museum of Modern Art in New York, a post he had long prized. The next year, Senator Ron Wyden of Democrat of Oregon began looking into Mr. Black's payments to Mr. Epstein. Investigators learned the Bank of America, where Mr. Black had accounts, had flagged 170 million of his payments to Mr. Epstein as suspicious. They also discovered that Mr. Black had paid millions of dollars to 8 women, according to the congressional notes shared with the Times. At least 3 of these women were listed among Mr. Epstein's associates and victims in federal court filings. Mr. Black's representative did not answer questions from the Times about why he had paid the women. This report raises questions as to whether there was more at play in the relationship between these two men, potentially including blackmail. Senator Wyden said in a statement after the publication of his article. So there's just a little bit more. I think I'm done reading for now, but it is very important. I think all the details here, and I'll go on to the video. All right.
Okay, so guys, wow, this was a bombshell article, and I'm glad that now I decided to do the videos that cover one subject, because otherwise, I think I worry too much. And it's interesting because I know I read comments that said, Rosie, I worry that you're getting too tired. But to be honest, this way is more my natural way, because as you know, I'm very kind of in depth. So if I focus on one topic only, then it's easier for me, because as you know, I'm always going to go back and forth anyway. But this way, it feels more natural. That's kind of how I process the information anyway. So, so having said that, now one of the reasons why I'm doing this piece, this article, is because I think this is a tipping point article because I think if I feel like I've read a lot about the Epstein situation. I have talked about also how I think, notwithstanding what the women went through, the key aspect of the Epstein situation is the blackmail. And that's something that's not discussed very often. And it's not to say, of course, that I don't want to hear about it's like that I'm minimizing, it's not I'm minimizing the victims or anything, but I feel like this part is why the thing continued. And I think I in a way I may disagree with some of the people like some of the people that's the way that they see this case. I'm not saying that these men are angels, but I think some of them, not this guy, you'll read, you'll see. Some of them were like caught in this web because blackmail is very complicated. And I think as a society, and pretty much every society looks like there's no way to kind of like make it illegal. You know, it's just those societies that have this like way of seeing sex and sexuality or whatever. It's just like, and then women are exploited. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a combination. But I feel like because he has so much power over these men, because you could see the article has the emails and the tone that he used with a guy. I mean, this is Apollo is one of the top private equity firms, and it's been connected to the Trump administration from the very beginning, from the first one. And so it's not a minor player, it's a huge player. Okay. And so this guy had this relationship with this guy where he was just berating him constantly. And like he made so the article said that he made $170 million in I don't know if it's the whole length of time, but he made $170 million just one person. Okay, one person. And that's just one guy. He charged him $40 million a year for services. And the article brings up the writer really is brilliant. He's just discussing facts, right? But he brings up so many interesting aspects, brings up many questions, right? He says that a man in the position of Mr. Black, he could afford the best tax tax attorneys and estate planning attorneys because the whole thing was that the emails would talk about estate planning, that Epstein presented himself as an estate tax planner, that's something. So it's really weird, you know, that's you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's so it's obvious that he's not and as the article suggests, especially guys, even I know that tax is very, very complicated and it's a very profitable part of corporate law because it's so complicated. I'm not saying that this guy is not capable. I'm sure Epstein was intelligent, but no, I'm sorry. He's not, he's no tax planner. Um, and he was charging much more than any white shoe law firm would charge. Like $40 million? Are you kidding? Guys, $40 million is what investment banks make from like an IPO of a huge company. It's a huge process. It's a lot of money. There's almost like no way in like the even so even among the most expensive services for corporations, not an individual person, it's not that expensive. Rather than it'll be a few million maybe, but not this much. He's like, it's not normal. His fees are not normal. There's something going on. And the article very kind of cleverly brings up the blackmail. Okay, because the blackmail is what we need. It needs to come out. Because I think that Trump has been a blackmailer. It's not just the women, obviously. It's because they use the women to manipulate the men, to manipulate the quote unquote masters of the universe. So that, and I think that is also key to how Russia may have, um, you know, gotten into the financial markets. I know a lot of people follow and believe that, Epstein is some kind of like Mossad agent. I think the relationship to me is much closer to Russia. I know that there's like relationships with Israel, but he was one of the passages in the article talks about how Epstein went to Russia with this guy, Black. So, as you know, I'm interested in the Russia thing as it's the focus of this channel in a lot of ways. Russia money laundering, pretty much, right? So it's, it's like these people work together, I think. This information is very useful to a lot of people, okay? And so that's that. That's okay. So that's that, and like, sorry, I'm just like thinking about this, all of this. And I have to say, also, some of you guys send me this stuff periodically about Epstein. I'm not interested. Like, I have to make that clear. I'm not interested in the what I call tragedy porn, like where you want people want me to look at all the harshest details of the abuse or that abuse. I'm not interested. I really not because the energy is too dark and it takes a lot of my energy to look into things. What happened this I don't want to know this stuff. It's not for me to know a lot of details of what each person went. That's not what I want. I'm not a, I have to guard my energy to a degree. What I want to know are the facts that connect to this government. Okay. That's what I want. I want to know. I don't want to, like I said, and people, I find it, I'm really kind of fascinated by how people are so interested in, like, they fall for conspiracy theories because they're so fascinated by, oh, this person and that person. And I told you guys before, there was some guy who was scammer, a known scammer, had some channel or wasn't some channel talking about the Pope and Bill Gates, and it's like they throw everybody together, the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, all of it together. No, that's not what I'm here for. What's great about these articles is that it's very specific. We know the story, what they've done to the women in different degrees. What will really change the world is understanding the financial details of the blackmail. Okay, because that's the business that they ran. They continue to run. Trump, don't you think? I think it's not, guys, it's not just it's like, okay, it's interesting, that I've read a lot about startups have this concept of the marketplace. It's not really a marketplace because you have two-sided, right? You have two constituencies. One are the women, and the other are the men that they kind of like they're the middleman, and then they gather information from the wealthy men. So it's a pretty complex, and then they have to transfer. There has to be money laundering involved because how are they gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's key here. How are they gonna pass it? So that's why I think Epstein was talking about all of like the tax, I'm a tax a specialist. I'm a tax estate tax planner. No, you're not. You're a money launderer, scammer, like blackmailer, devil figure. So, okay, so that's just where we are at the before I start, not before I begin. I did ask for that. Okay, guys, okay, I'm telling you, I know, Jeffrey, I did not invite you. Okay, I did not invite you. I'm not interested. I think you're trash. Jeffrey, you piece of shit. Okay, just get the fuck out of here. Okay, I don't want your energy, Jeffrey. Fuck out. Yeah, whatever. So Jeffrey's here. I don't know why he comes. I'm serious. Like before, I guess now he's changed or something, or he's evolved a little or something. I don't know why do you want to talk to me, Jeffrey? You piece of shit. Sick fuck. Oh, girl. Sorry, this bad spirits. You have to talk to them like. So, no, he's here. He wants to talk. Because, you're really funny. You're really funny when your voice. It's kind of, it's kind of like that. Yeah. Those guys, you got to talk to them like that because, it's like they need to know who they're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're too nice to them, it's like, it changes the relationship. You know what I'm saying? But you know about that stuff, huh? That's how you talk to these people. That's how you talk to these other guys. But I was never, but Jeffrey, I was never crass like you were. Yeah, you had information. You had a facts, girl. Good for you. So okay, no, but I know it sounds so Jeffrey, why are you here? What do you have to say? Because I have a lot to talk about today. So get to the point. Okay, get to the point. Okay, where is it? Yeah, they got it. They got it. It's true. So this guy just such an asshole. You know, you would like you went after the girls and like he made so much trouble for me. He's like a real creep. You know what I mean? He's a real look at him. He looks like a some kind of like weird like Azerbaijani wrestler. He's really gross. He's really like tough guy, you know what I mean? And the women suffer with him. Yeah, I feel bad for them, you know. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. This is too much. This is like, okay, so Jeffrey, please come get to the point. It's like a lot for me when it's late. So tell me the story, Jeffrey. What is get to the point here because I don't have all day to talk. It's sorry, it's late. His mouth, he's like, your apartment is really small. It's kind of, look at me, look at you. Okay, Jeffrey, just get to the point. What do you want to say about the article? Because I don't have all day. I know you have a big ego. I know you love to listen to your self-talk and like brag about yourself. Okay, I get it. No worries, I knew a lot about art. I knew like art. I knew a lot. You know, I'm a smart guy. I'm just dead. But okay, so okay, Jeffrey, please get to the point. Yeah, no, it's true. There's a bit more that's gonna come out. It's really, they haven't gotten to the bottom of the barrel quite yet. There's a lot of, oh, wow, wow. Okay, Jeffrey, that's it. Rosie, I had these accounts. Okay, we had shared accounts. You know, like couples have accounts together. I had access to those accounts, and that's Ron Wyden has it. Yeah, yeah. They found it. It's like I would deposit money. They would share the finances, because it was their money, but like I took care of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a power of attorney. Oh yeah, I had a power of attorney, and I would just like move the money around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would just send it to countries. I would send it to Russia because I didn't want people to be looking at it. So that's the next step. That's what's gonna seal the deal. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, Jeffrey. I got goosebumps now. Jeffrey, are you for real? Wow. I have to tell you guys now. He's telling me. Oh God. Okay, Jeffrey, for real. Okay. So wow. Okay. So he's telling me, Jeffrey, correct me, okay, if I'm wrong. So, okay, or is somebody else, I gotta say it. Somebody is watching the show, somebody's gonna look into it. They already have this stuff. He's saying that Trump's companies had like multiple accounts. Like, okay, I told you guys I worked in a uh I don't tell you the Smith Barney. Long sorry. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Long sorry. But the point is, call him Morgan Stanley now, but I was in between. It was Citi Smith Martin, then became Morgan Stanley Smith Martin. But the point is, I remember I had a P&L, right? He's talking, so he's showing me that he had like he was like, yeah, it was like, they had a fake P&L, and it was like me, he was sending money. Like he had access to Trump's accounts. We had a business together, Rosie. Come on. What do you think the guy so like doesn't want to talk about it? You know what I mean? It's not about the girls, it's about the money. Wow. Rosie, I wouldn't be friends with Trump. It wasn't just friendship, it was business. Come on. So that's right. We had joint bank accounts at one point. That's what he's saying. Joint bank accounts. And Ron Wyden has it. For reals? Damn. Really? Okay. So, Jeffrey, I need to go back to the article because that's the point of the video today. Do you have anything? No, that was a pretty good article. Like I was saying, there's more. It's just there's a level below, and this comes down to my joint bank accounts with those people. They were demonizing me. Okay, I wasn't a great guy. I'm here, but I need to come out to people to speak to people like you. I need to come out and just say that it wasn't just me. You know what I mean? No, no. Yeah, I did. I did do. I wasn't really an accountant. I found ways to move money around. It's called money laundering. You know what I mean? It's called money laundering. So, wire fraud, bank fraud. Hmm. So, okay. Okay, so Jeffrey, so you were saying, yeah, so no, it's true. I blackmailed that guy. Oh yeah, but he was an asshole. He was not somebody had, somebody had to do it. He was an asshole. So are you, Jeffrey. Yeah, but whatever. Nobody talked to him like that. I did. Somebody had to. So God, and he said, yeah, wow, he's telling me about those girls. Remember, guys, I told you years ago I saw these girls that passed away. Yeah, I did do. So it was bad. It was bad. I mean, some of them, it was, I feel bad for them. Some things, happen or whatever. But okay, I don't know more details. Okay, I need to be clean. Okay, I need to move on from this, Jeffrey. So, wow, that's kind of okay. So now, okay, now Jeffrey, the other thing. So since you're here, there was that passage about Black going to you. What's the story that or was it? That was kind of, dark stuff over there. There were some girls. They were semi girls, but the thing is, I couldn't. They're really good at money laundering. They're really good at like sending money through this and that. So I needed the help. And so, because I was moving all this kinds of money, and like some of it was a little shady, and those people didn't want to just send me a check. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, I have an account here, I have an account there, so I need to get some specialists." And it turns out they had an experience, and became friends. Ghislaine had some friends. It's not like it wasn't just me. There were some people, and so they knew all about the money and so they got interested. They protected me. Okay, because interesting. He said that then some of these men tried to like face him and be do because it makes sense, right? It's awful what he's doing to people. So then he needed protection, and I think that's when he went like legit straight up to the mob because then they get a cut, right? But he got protection. And it's like, Rosie, that then the business went down because it was kind of like hardcore. It just I don't want to deal with these people, but nobody else wanted to talk to me. And he's saying, but he's kind of interested, he's saying like I was rude because that's right. Otherwise, they won't take me seriously. You know what I mean? That's why I always made a face. Like, I'd be like, oh, having dinner with them, be like, who the hell are you? Just whatever. I could do whatever I want. That's my life. That's how I died. Or I die young. You know what I mean? I die young because I live hard. So, wow. So what's gonna happen next, Jeffrey? Do you see? Motherfucker, motherfucker is screwed. Oh yeah, orange guy. What the hell? Oh, never seen that guy again. Never see you. Oh, you know who I am, motherfucker. Oh yeah, you sure do. It's like, yeah, I don't know that guy. Oh, you do, Mel. You do, Donald. Wow, he's saying he's asking. Rosie, his body's totally after. He's has cancer and everything. His heart. It's just the evil that keeps him going. And drugs. Because it's saying it's actually he's saying if he were a normal person, he's saying he would have died a long time ago, but it's the drugs that ironically keep him going because it's saying that he needs to be pumped constantly. And he has all these efforts and he's so evil. He doesn't have any regrets about anything. That's how you live long. You never regret. You have no heart. It's like, okay. So, mm, okay. So no, really, is he gonna leave? Oh, come on, he stole the election. Oh yeah, the other motherfucker, Elon. Oh my God, I'm so smart. Huh? They're all fucked, Rosie. Their bodies are rotting inside. He's another drug addict guy. Yeah. Yeah. So, so what's gonna happen, Jeffrey? Can you tell us? Because we want him out. Yeah, they don't. Okay, interesting. He's showing me Trump tripping, like he's gonna fall. He's not expecting that there's something he's gonna trip and fall, and it shows me JD Vance pretending to care about him, but not. No, he's not gonna hold him up. But then JD Vance lets him fall, and then it's like, yeah, I'm the new guy. Nope. And then he's grabbed. See what in hell, motherfuckers. So, okay. So, is it gonna happen? No, Jeffrey, everybody asks me about timing. I don't know. Okay, he's saying there's two big events gonna happen, and then they go, okay. No, you're gonna be, because I was gonna ask him, like, what about my parents? And they go, no, you'd be fine. You're a good girl. Huh? You go see your parents. Good for you. You're a nice person. That's nice. No, you have a good surprise. It's gonna be okay. But it's saying she's saying a lot of intensity about the stuff that's happening here, and that we will be unexpectedly surprised, I think. But again, Jeffrey, I don't trust anymore the time situation. Just give it to God. I don't know much about God because I'm here in hell, burning hell. No, I don't know where He is. What is it like, Jeffrey? I have to watch everything, but He's saying. it's saying that he can do things like what he's doing with me because he gets points, I guess. I know it sounds kind of, is that right? Yeah, it's saying I can help. It's saying, no, they're saying, no, Jeff, you can go over there and share information because you can maybe expedite my cleansing. It's gonna take maybe 5,000 years, not four, like not seven or something like that. Like, because by the way, it's true that over on the other side, time is much slower. It takes much longer than our time to cleanse because you have to watch the movies of people's lives. It's hard. It's hard. Live all the consequences. It's really hard. It's kind of amazing. I was so heartless. Now I have to let I have empathy. I understand. So okay. Wow, this was kind of crazy. No, you're not on drugs, don't worry. You have that, Rosie. You have that in you. You're a good actress. You're funny. Good for you. Good do good do big things, Rosie. Good do big things. You're a little fat. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's about your heart. You're funny. So, and it's okay. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, TMI, Jeffrey. I don't want to hear all this. I don't want too much information. What he's saying, Rosie, I was a real like pervert. And the thing is, like, I like these girls that look like children. That was true because they were powerless. You know what I mean? And they're powerless. They're almost like not people yet. So I could dominate them. I could like make them do things, and they get like real scared. Because if I had to deal with people like you, no, I'd be scared of you. Oh yeah, because you were like a grown woman, and even when you're little, I know that you were like talking back to people. So no, I never picked those. Never picked those. I picked the vulnerable ones, the ones that had like daddy problems, like no family. So whoa, whoa, okay, no, Rosie, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. So wow, that was quite an experience. I feel like I don't know, like I've been on a trance or something. Yeah, no, you just let me talk with just let me talk. Don't judge, don't judge. So okay. So wow, Jeffrey, I'm gonna have to say goodbye because it's been very intense. Okay, anytime, Rosie. Yeah, I'm sitting here. It's a big movie theater over here where I am, and I'm watching the whole thing burn down. Well, see, Jeffrey, I'm famous now. So interesting. Wow, it's big. So Jeffrey, last question, then we'll say goodbye. Are you going to be the reason? Because all of us think that you're the reason why he goes down. Is that you are putting or together or whatever? Together forever. No, Jeffrey really was the reason. Well, see, Rosie, he's showing me all these bank accounts. It's follow the money. Is the truth, because oh, nobody cares anymore about bees, right? I mean, now it's coming out here and this and that, but the bottom line is it's about the money doesn't talk. The victims, I feel bad for them, but they talk, right? They can write, whatever. But the money doesn't talk. You gotta go find it. You find the receipts. Got the receipts. The receipts are gonna show our connections, and that's what they don't want. But a lot of people got them. I made sure a lot of people got them because I knew those motherfuckers were planning something. Hmm. Oh yeah, I'm smart. I'm a smart guy. Oh, that's right. He's saying Ghislaine. That's right. Oh, she understands. Ghislaine understands. And where the bodies are buried. She knows. She knows. I told her, Ghislaine, get it together, girl. Get it together, because they're gonna come after you. So yeah, look at that poor Prince Andrew. Now he's a still prince. He's no longer duke. Whatever. Motherfucker's dumb. So and I was nice to him. I was nice to him because no, Ghislaine really liked him. She's like, dude, I am part of the British royal family. I hung out with them. I get together with them. She was such a snob. She's a real, she's a real hard ass woman. And we don't help each other out. We're kind of like, partners in the criminal crime situation. So, okay, all right, Jeffrey, it's kind of intense. Don't worry, Rosie. You know what, say, don't worry about my energy. Don't worry, because as it comes through you, it cleanses you in a certain way, right? It's uh now that it's coming out from the other side, I'm the other side. I understand everything I've done. It's not that dark. Just, get some crystals, but it's fine. It's not that bad. You see, it's kind of funny. And because you're just letting me talk, it's much, much easier for you because all you have to do is to be, like a medium or however you call yourself. Okay. Yeah, you're more than that. You're more than that, of course, but that's what you do now. Huh? Interesting. It'll be okay. Okay, good night, Rosie. Sleep well. Okay. All right. Ooh, so guys, yeah, I don't know what happened. What just happened? I swear I don't really drink, so it was just a weird experience. I should go say goodbye and to create another part of the introduction because this was strange, a little strange, don't you think? Okay. All right, so let me pause and see you next time. Thank you for watching.